I've come to terms with the fact that you don't have an average job.
You guys having fun at the convention?
But we haven't seen you in months.
What happened to your eye?
Somebody fouled me at the game.
What game?
The one you missed.
And summer break's just a few days away.
We should do something. Strictly family time.
Come on, kids. It can be an adventure.
Let's do this!
I am just so happy that we're all together.
Hey, city boy.
Hey!
Get out of here. Let's go right now.
I understand protecting your sister, but there are other ways to handle things. I left my phone.
Hutch, no!
Well, I like your way better.
What the hell, Hutch? On our first day?
I think I stumbled into something.
You're vacationing in an old bootlegging route, full of drugs, crooked cops, and one woman who controls it all. You didn't take your family there, did you?
Yeah.
You'll want to de-escalate the situation.
De-escalate. No escalating. Guys, I'm not gonna fight you. I'm here on vacation.
Find this nobody. Scorched earth.
I just want a break.
There's no way you were just some family man.
We all have different sides. But most of all, you're a dad. Go fix this shit.
I told you.
I'm on fucking vacation!
Cool.
Yeah, dude, I gotta say your hair's a little longer than we've seen on.
It's for a roll, actually. It's for a roll, and it's also lighter. I don't know if you can tell as well, but it's also lighter.
Yeah.
But it's a bit of a throwback. It's kind of how I had my hair when I was probably like 12-ish. So
Yeah.
all my family's.
It looks great though.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you have a resemblance, and I hope you don't get offended by this. You have a little bit of a resemblance to Justin Bieber.
He's done well for himself, so I'll take it, man.
Yeah.
He's done all right in his career, so I'll take it any day of the week.
So, Gage, what do you do in the summer? Like, I mean, you don't have to tell me like the personal stuff, but like, what do you do? Like, when you're off camera, when you're doing your thing, like, how do you occupy your time?
Funnily enough, I picked up some hobbies over the course of the pandemic that have stuck. The two major ones being photography and chess are my two big ones. So I like to shoot. I'm one of those snobby people who likes to shoot film. I like to shoot 35 mil. My camera just crapped out on me. Unfortunately, I had a Pentax ME Super, which was like my pride and joy, and now the Film Advanced lever has crapped out on me. So I had a director who I worked with just recently who was nice enough to actually give me one of his cameras. He's like, "Oh, I have one just kind of lying in wait," and he's like, "Welcome to the 21st century," and he gave me it's a Nikon F80 or N80, I think it's called, depending on where you are, and it's got more 21st century bells and whistles. I think it came out in like 2000, right at the turn of the century, and so he's updated me a little bit, but I'm really loving it so far.
Yeah, those aren't cheap, those cameras either.
They're not too bad, honestly. Like, you can find some online for reasonable prices. It's not, I mean, new cameras are pretty terrible, but these guys are not that bad.
Yeah, it's weird, dude, because last time we talked, I had no kids. Now we have 2 kids. Like, dude, it's just
That's a big hobby to pick up. That's a time commitment right there. Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Gage. You're such a good kid. I have to say, like, the reason I brought that up was because, like, I'm always taking pictures, so I've had to, even like the portrait mode on, like, the iPhone. It's not bad. I mean, it's not what you're doing, but it's like it's pretty good. Like when you get the right light, and it looks phenomenal. Like some of those pictures.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it definitely suits. It depends on what suits your purpose, right? I mean, the majority of the time just have my phone out, and the phone. I mean, it looks so great, and like the pictures you can get on a phone, especially like the iPhones have 3 lenses, the Pro ones, or whatever, the 3 lenses. So nothing to like. Those are pretty great cameras.
Yeah, do you ever like pick the brain of like a cinematographer on set? Like, do you ever ask questions like that, or maybe even a director? Because a lot of them are great cinematographers too.
Well, I just worked. The director who I just worked with, who gifted me, his name is Jonathan Ben Simon or Ben Simon, I think, if I'm pronouncing his name like correctly.
Yeah.
And he actually directed and DP at the same time. The project that we were working on was called Lice, and so that was interesting seeing him work. He was like, directing us and really good about kind of delegating and kind of making sure that people had things to do, and then seeing to us and kind of saying, okay, guys, and then directing us and kind of giving the cast direction. But it was really interesting seeing him work and kind of be able to switch off his DP brain and move to directing the cast. And something I imagine really hard as well. I was thinking the whole time, I was like, this is really difficult, but he did a great job. And yeah, he was also, so aside from doing that, he was also really nice to let me and let me kind of pick his brain whenever I had weird technical questions, of which there were many, because it's a cool project, and there are a bunch of, they're working with Cinestill and Kodak and using film, all the kind of nerdy stuff that I really enjoy.
So Gage, like when you watch like a movie, or you're at the theater or at home, do you appreciate the cinematography a little bit more now?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I think I appreciate it, especially from a technical point of view. I can appreciate it a little bit more.
Right.
That's not to say I didn't appreciate it, but before. But I think now I can appreciate how much work goes into lighting. And I say that as if I know so much. I don't. I'm still obviously learning a ton, but it's been interesting to learn. And yeah, I guess I can appreciate maybe the technical aspect a little more.
Yeah, dude, just totally random. I remember the first time we spoke. I remember how awesome like your parents were, how super supportive they are, and they're
great.
That's
they're
probably
happy to report they're still great.
Yeah. Well, it's no coincidence that you're flourishing and you have 2 wonderful people in your corner. So, but before I get to that and your newest project, I did want to ask you one more thing. You said chess, right? Was the other thing you got hooked on?
Yes, yeah. I love chess.
Do you follow Magnus? Do you follow?
I do. I don't follow them maybe as closely as I once did. When we were sort of deep in the heart of the pandemic, I probably was following too closely, and I followed the scandal. I don't know if you followed the scandal, but there was a Hans Niemann scandal. Was
that the cheating one?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
To put it politely, that was the cheating one. And so, yeah, I mean, I was following, and I still follow a little bit, but not maybe as closely as I once did.
Dude, I remember I was in a phase like that years ago. Dude, it's almost, it can drive you, like if you ever watch like Searching for like Bobby Fischer or some of these other chess movies, you can kind of go mad thinking about it. Like, because the people that do play it, like you're thinking about angles. I should have done this. I should have done that. You're studying it. Chess is no joke. Like that is like, and I love it. I love chess movies. I love playing chess. I mean, you'd probably beat me within 3 or 4 minutes, but it's such a great, like, what do you call it? Like it's not a hobby because it's so much more than that. And
I call it a hobby. I'm lucky in that I can kind of distance myself from that, but I can totally see how people would fall into that rabbit hole and totally, Bobby Fischer it up. I think I've been pretty good about not overcommitting or whatever. Again, in the pandemic, I probably was, fully into it or whatever, and people around me would have said otherwise, but now I think it's a pretty casual thing.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and that's what it should be. It should be something that you could enjoy, play with a friend, play with a girlfriend, significant other, whatever. But like sometimes people get so wrapped up into it, it's like they drive themselves mad thinking how they can become better, right?
and I mean, I have to be because I'm not very good at it. You know what I mean? I still, despite having played for I don't know, I guess 2 or 3 years maybe now, I'm not very good. So I just do it for the fun of it, and I have to be able to kind of wash my hands of it.
Dude, that's awesome. And what else is awesome is when I saw you in the walk, because this is one of the things that happened after our first interview, was that you're in the Walking Dead universe, and you were so good. It's so great to like that you're in that realm now, isn't it? Pretty cool.
I thought it was really cool, especially having grown up with the show. I remember watching it in season 1. I remember being in an animation studio and having one of my castmates say, "Oh, you got to check out this new zombie show, The Walking Dead," and proceeding to tell me, you know, beat for beat kind of what happened. And I was still, even just being told and having him beat for beat tell me what was happening was really interesting. And I remember getting the call for it and auditioning for it, and thinking back to how cool, I mean, I still thought it was cool and was amazing, but how, floored 13-year-old me would have been as well.
Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I have to say, so I'm at the theater. Well, I was about to watch F1 a couple days ago, and I knew Nobody 2 was coming out. I hadn't seen the trailer. I don't know why. I usually see trailers. I missed it, dude. It's the best trailer of the summer.
They're pretty good at making those trailers. I don't know what they do, if it's the music or the editing or what, but they're pretty good at doing those trailers. They always find a way to make us look pretty good.
Dude, it's fire the way they put like the Holiday Road from Lindsey Buckingham, right? So it's like it's setting it up where it's like you guys, and this is kind of what it was in the first movie too, that you're like Clark Griswold and Rusty, but except an assassin. And I thought the trailer did a great job of not revealing too much, but man, it made you want to go to the theater on August 15th.
It's a good mood setter, right? I think that what good trailers do is kind of put you in a mood and without hopefully revealing too much. And it's good. They show little vignettes and pieces throughout the movie, but there's definitely a lot more for people to see. I'm just thinking back to all the different set pieces, and hopefully people like it.
Yeah. So one of the things I think we talked about in our first interview is how much I loved your character and how much I hoped your character developed. I feel like after watching the trailer, I feel like your character might be a little more hands-on in this second movie. I don't want you to say too much, but
of course.
But like just from the fact of like, even the mom is like, all right, do your thing. Like, let's do this. Like, I just love how they've embraced dad, kind of. It seems like it.
Yes, no, for sure. And it definitely felt like there was a significant change for the character from the first to the second movie. And it was something that I was interested in too, right? So I didn't know that I would be coming back for a long time. And those were questions in my head as well, as much as any, viewer. I was wondering how did the events of the last movie change this guy? You know what I mean? That's got to kind of rock a kid if you suddenly find out that your dad is an international assassin. So, so it was really interesting getting to come back and explore that and kind of show the aftermath.
Yeah, your character Brady though he might not be as proficient as his dad. Not many are, but like. Brady's not a coward. He's a very courageous kind of kid that just is looking for that opportunity, kind of admires his dad. So can you say that there's been a jump? Like, can you say that Brady kind of is more hands-on as far as his dad perhaps teaching him some tricks of the trade? Is that a possibility, Gage? I'm being careful about how I ask.
No, of course, and I appreciate it. It definitely more... definitely more, or at least he would like to be more hands-on, right? Yeah. It's a huge piece of news, and even in the first one, it was about him. He still wanted his dad to be involved, but I think it was mostly was and is kind of about being open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It felt like in the first one there was this distance between them and this kind of coolness. And it's still there. It's just got this huge weight to it given the events of the last movie. You know what I mean? It's and then at the same time they're on family vacation, so they're trying to have fun and not be down the whole time. It's an interesting combination of all those things, and the setting is fantastic too. It's also funny that all of this kind of family drama is going on in the within the confines of this vacation town where everyone's having, you know, the greatest time of their life.
Yeah, and to your point, I think there's a part in the trailer too where Brady tells Hutch, you know, the game that you missed. I think I saw that. Like he says, you know, the game that you. So it's like it's just so great to watch that dynamic unfold. Are you familiar with? Have you seen obviously Christmas Vacation and the vacation movies? Do you see the parallels between that and the Nobody family, the crew here? I love, again, I don't want to get over gushy about the trailer.
No,
like I love how they've turned this into what if the Griswolds were badasses? Like, and
I like that. I don't know if we can use that as a tagline. Maybe, hopefully they can use that as a tagline. It's been a while since I've seen Christmas Vacation, or European Vacation. I have to go back and watch. Those are great, but I have to go back and watch to find my one-to-one comparisons. But it'd be funny if they snuck little Easter eggs like that in, and I wouldn't put it past, you know, any of the filmmakers. That'd be really fun. But I'd have to go back and watch and see if I could pull any parallels between the two families.
Well, putting that song in the Holiday Road is like, that's just that. I mean, anybody who knows anything is like, well, I know what they're doing here. But it's like the great thing about the Nobody franchise is that, yeah, there's kick-ass, there's fighting, but it's also funny as hell. Like, that's what's great about it. Like, somebody said in the comments of YouTube, I hope they make 15 more of these.
I'm really glad that they feel that way. I think, yeah, I mean, that was part of the fun of the first one, was that it had this kind of self-effacing humor and made fun of action movies a little bit, and while also having enough kind of earnest action and appreciation for the genre that people were like, oh, this is clearly these are fans of movies and of action. And I think there's more of that this time around. Visually, this time it's definitely lighter and brighter, as people can see in the trailer, and that's also exciting as well, and lends to the comedy a bit as well. You know what I mean? Given the fact that there's all this hardcore shit or stuff going down, and in this, you know, happy-go-lucky, you know, town.
Dude, how cool is it seeing yourself in an awesome trailer, an awesome franchise? Like, even since we've last spoken, like you've added to your career. Like, if we talk in 4 more years, I'm gonna have to go through a publicist again. I mean, like, you've done
You're
so many.
You're gonna have 5 more children. Your children will
by the time we talk again, I'm gonna have 25 kids. So you know, I don't know, man. It's just so cool to see how you've evolved and doing your thing on screen. And again, I think I told you this in the first interview, you're so terrific in that first, like, you're a natural at this. You don't look forced or fake or somebody that's learning on the job.
Thank you
it's
so
just
much,
great.
man.
Yeah, it's great to see you like really doing your thing, adding to your filmography. But like, even in the trailer for Nobody, even that 2.5 minutes, like, I'm like, this is like, who does not want to see this movie? Like, it's for everybody, really.
I appreciate. I think so. I'm a little bit biased, but I think so too. I think it's got something for everyone, and I think that's what they do so well. They being the filmmakers, and Timo, the director, does so well, is kind of incorporating a bit of everything for everyone. You know what I mean?
His first American movie, I think. I think this is his first American.
I think so. Yeah, I've seen a few of it. I've seen a few of his other things. I remember when I learned about working with him, I watched The Night Comes for Us. And then only just recently, I saw VHS 2 that he directed a segment in, and I already knew because I'd seen Night Comes for Us and Big Four and other stuff that he'd done, which if people haven't seen, check those out. They're great.
Yeah.
But that's such a nice feeling, you know, being a fan of the people you're working with, and also knowing that you're in such good hands with a director. You're like, oh, cool. Everything will be okay, even if I rarely mess up somehow.
Yeah. Kudos to we'll talk a little bit about some of the cast, but like Paisley is terrific as your sister.
Yes.
Like, I mean, just going back, and I haven't seen the movie yet, but it just feels like a family. It doesn't feel like 4 actors forced together in a room. It feels like, damn, these 4 people could be a family. Like, and that's great to feel like that as somebody who's who's watching the movie, you know?
Yeah, it's great. And Paisley and her family, her whole family are great, honestly. Those guys were local. They were in our local in where we shot in Manitoba, and they were so nice about just speaking to family, about kind of making me feel welcome, and I imagine some of the kind of ease and comfort comes from that. The fact that everyone was so cool and, ready and willing to make everyone feel comfortable and cool on set. You couldn't find a cooler vibe on any set.
Yeah, it seems like that. And dude, I tell you, I didn't know this, but like Bob Odenkirk, I knew he had a heart attack, but I didn't know that he credited the first Nobody movie, getting in shape, the physical, that saved his life. He said going through that heart attack because of the shape he got in from Nobody 1. Obviously, the heart attack happens on Better Call Saul, but yeah. I never knew that he credited the first movie with getting into shape, but also helping him survive that heart attack. I
only learned that a little while ago as well. I was amazed to hear that. He works like no one I've seen, at least. You know what I mean? I remember being on set and kind of seeing kind of peripherally the workout sessions that he and Daniel Bernhardt would do. Daniel was in the first and have coordinate fights and other things, and he's a stunt actor and who's fantastic in his own right. But the workouts that they do and kind of just hearing the schedule that they worked with was insane. But I mean, of course, knock on wood, thank God that it was so insane. It wound up, I guess, helping his recovery. It's great.
How great is Bob as an actor to do? I mean, he must be super. Just talking to him about the scene, just talking to him in general, he just seems like such a good guy.
He's a great actor. He's also, I mean, sort of a multi-hyphenate Renaissance man as well, right? So I picked his brain as much about writing as I did about
smart
acting, and he was so super nice and generous with his time, and said and breaks things down in an unpretentious and kind of palatable way. You know what I mean? He'd talk about hiccups in writing and writer's block and that kind of thing, and he put it in kind of he put it in this way where he was talking about it like he's like, I don't know, if you're a plumber and you have a snake in a drain, you just kind of have to bear down and fix it. People feel like there's this magical, sauce or eureka moment or whatever it may be, and sometimes he's like, you just have to bear down, and much like you would any kind of any other job, and fix it and snake the drain, for lack of a better term. And that I think is really cool, good advice.
Dude, you are so smart to be doing what you're doing, picking the brains of like really iconic people. I just think that's so. I'm surprised more actors don't tell me that. I just feel like it's so wise on your part. Like I don't know.
Thanks. I mean, it has yet to translate into any masterful screenplays, but I appreciate it. And
you're also very young. I mean, come on, you got some time to develop as a writer. I mean, that's something that takes people forever to do anyway, right?
Well, he's certainly done that, and it was interesting to kind of get his 2 cents on it, and hear how matter of fact he was about it. Which was nice and refreshing, because sometimes you get these, I don't know, nebulous ideas from whatever people trying to tell you something.
Can we talk about the addition? Colin Hanks as a shady sheriff is a great. You know what, Gage? I was thinking about this. People watching this might say, "Oh, that's bullshit." I'm going to tell you. I think Colin Hanks would be successful even if his dad wasn't who he is. I really believe it. I mean, Chet is another story, but like Colin, I think, hey, there
will be no Chet or Colin slander here. Colin is fantastic. And from the moment we met, it was really, I knew it was going to be great working with him. We went to a baseball game, and it was funny just seeing him kind of switch on set into evil sheriff mode again. One of the nicest people you could ever meet, and then he would switch, and it's not often that you see that. Sometimes, people have some time to translate in, but he was like really, really nice. And then the cameras were rolling and he was terrifying.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't say enough good things about Colin. He was great.
How is that ever a little bit of a shocker to you? And I get it. People turn on their acting, but I get it. But like, is it ever like you kind of hinted this a little bit? Like, is it kind of like, holy shit, this guy is really good? Like as the actor Gage, when you're watching this, like, boy, he turned that on pretty good.
All the time. And sometimes it's not even in these big, intense emotional scenes. Sometimes it's almost more impressive when people can just be, and you feel like they inhabit a character so easily. That's what it is. I think that's when I'm like fucking jealous of the sauce, is when someone just kind of can ease into a role and admire. I mean, I'm saying it, and I think Colin has that. In this case, he was doing some pretty intense stuff, but I'm always in awe of other actors that I worked with.
Yeah, but like you're on that path too, and don't forget he's an older guy. I mean, he's not older, but like he's compared to you, he's an older guy who's seen a lot. He's been through a lot. Like he's doing.
Of course, comparison. I that's a not useless exercise, but it's definitely not one that I'm losing sleep over. It's just I just like seeing how other people do their thing, and I steal and copy as much as I possibly can.
Yeah, so you're telling me everything about him, like how great, and it's like he's also doing like this. He's directing this John Candy documentary with Ryan
I didn't
Reynolds.
even know that.
Yeah, like he's just so multifaceted. And then I look at the rest of some of this cast, like Sharon Stone, John Ortiz. Like the casting is perfect. Like it's the perfect people for the perfect parts.
John Ortiz was so kind. I didn't get to I didn't get to sort of have scenes with him, unfortunately, but he was super nice. And then, I mean, what a get in terms of Sharon Stone, right? And not something that, necessarily people would be kind of think to do in terms of casting, like Sharon as the big bad, as the evil character, the antagonist in this one. But from everything I've seen, she's great.
Yeah, and Connie, who I have a little graphic of her, she seems terrific to work with too. She's aging like fine wine. She's so talented.
Connie's great.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we got to know each other a little bit on the set of the first one, but this one was a longer stretch, and so I think Paisley and I got to know our family a little bit better this time around. Gotcha, and it was so nice getting to know Connie. She was so giving with her time and also a great actor. You know what I mean? It's so funny because again, you get to know these people in pre-production and prep, and you say, oh, they're so fun to be around and they're great people. But then you go to set and you see them work and you're like, oh, I forgot entirely that you're awesome at this.
Yeah. How tough is that without me trying to be overly sentimental? But like the last day of shooting, is it like saying goodbye to a family or friends? Hey, I'll see you when I see you. Is it ever emotional wrapping?
Yes.
And you guys seem so close too. So
it can totally be emotional, especially if you're doing intense, pedal to the metal kind of scenes. You know what I mean? Actors by nature, I think, are dramatic
right.
people as well, right? So even if you you can be working with people for 4 or 5 days, and then it can feel like you've gone through this odyssey together. You know what I mean? So it's always in a last day of school, end of summer camp kind of experience, especially in this one because we were in this kind of summer camp setting.
Yeah. You mentioned people's brains you'd pick. I would be talking Christopher Lloyd's ear off about Back to the Future. I wouldn't stop that. Of all these people I'm mentioning, who do you spend the most time with? You mentioned Paisley, but is there anybody else that you spend more time with than others? Obviously, your family.
I did get to spend some time with Christopher Lloyd, actually, which was really cool.
Nice.
And he was telling a story. You'd have to ask him because I wouldn't be able to tell it properly, but he was telling us stories about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which was so cool. And maybe he may have told it at some point over the years in an interview, but he was talking about the casting process and how they were, how they did this citywide search in New York. And anyway, as someone who loves that movie, it was really cool to hear. And you know, I don't want to say unprompted. I maybe gently brought it at that line of conversation, but he was another person who was so happy to share his stories, and it was so cool to hear from someone who's been in the business from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest days. You know what I mean? It's not everyone can say that. Not many can say that, and he's another font of knowledge and experience.
Sometimes, Gage, we forget how good his filmography is because everything's Back to the Future, but it's like this man has done much more than that. But sometimes we're overshadowed by this iconic movie, you know. A few more questions, man. Thank you for all this time. I really appreciate it.
No, of course. Thanks for bearing with me through my Chrome and my computer and all that.
No, man, you're an all-timer. You're so kind, and I don't see that every day. But like, I'm happy that you and I have this time. Let me ask you this. So, you know, I love. Do you find that in this movie everyone accepts Hutch, the family, a little bit more? Because there's a great quote from Connie, who she says, "We all have different sides, but most of you're a dad and fix this shit." Like, I feel like everyone's starting to embrace Hutch for what he is, and he doesn't have to hide as much who he is this time around. Like, the first movie was about him hiding because for obvious reasons. Do you feel like now it's the family, the people, the audience will see more of an acceptance of who Hutch really is?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, without revealing too much, that's kind of a problem in the family. Is this? There's a communication problem, really. You know what I mean? So now that this massive, cat is out of the bag. How do they talk about this? How does a family reconcile with something like that? How do they chat about it in a healthy way? I think if you're looking at the message of it all, for lack of a better term, that's kind of what they're dealing with in this one. You know what I mean? Because yes, the secret's out, and he doesn't have to hide anymore. But how does a family talk about that? You know what I mean? Like, much like any other big bombshell secret that a family reveals or a family member reveals, how do you talk about that, and how do you do it in a healthy way? And can you answer everyone's questions while also saving their feelings? I don't know.
Yeah. There was so much explosions and devastation in that first movie. Never mind the little things of like how to deal with dad. It was the most grandiose way of doing it. So I have to say, the cinematographer is Callan Green. I've had Dominic Lewis, who's the composer. Those are two sneaky good additions to this, right? I hope people, when they're watching Nobody 2, those are kind of the guys that are forgotten, but those are two guys that are really good at what they do.
Yes, I mean, I can speak to that in having seen Callan work, because you'd be in the scene and you wouldn't even know that there were these amazing lighting setups going on, and then you'd get a glimpse of the monitor and kind of be shocked by how awesome it looked. And what was nice about his lighting setups as well is that you'd be in the scene and it's not intrusive at all. You know what I mean? Sometimes by virtue of, the technical stuff, and there are technical limitations where they need to repo and set up lights, and it gets a little in your way. This was not that way at all. And then also on top of that, it looks incredible when you go to the monitor. It was the best way of working for an actor.
What's the one thing that you love most about a change in your character, or something that your character didn't have in the first movie? Has there been something that you really, really love? Obviously, I'm phrasing it gently so you don't reveal anything, but like, what's the one thing you really embraced?
No, it's a good question. I think I've also just enjoyed being able to explore the character more. You know what I mean? Yeah. There was only so much I could do, and with the time that we had in the first movie. And this one, we have this road trip, and by virtue of the road trip, we have all these things that the family can do together. And so it was just so nice to get more time to flesh out the character a little bit more, and incorporate equal parts me and Bob and Connie and all these people, and kind of make it this amalgam of the whole family. And I think everyone's done that. All the family members have done that in a really cool way.
Yeah. Have you seen the finished product yet? Have you seen the?
I haven't seen it. I'm excited. I don't know when.
Do you know when the premiere is? Do they have a premiere for you guys or no?
They might. I'm sure they will. There will be a screening, but I'm not sure when and where yet. But
Dude,
we'll see.
There's no way it's not awesome. There's no way this movie is not awesome. Like, from a trailer alone, there's no way.
I hope so. I think so. I mean, it's one of those situations where you never know, but it looks. All signs point to it being really, really great.
Yeah, dude, I got to tell you, one of the comments, when you look at the trailer, the comments on YouTube are so great. Somebody put, from Better Call Saul to Better Call the Hospital. Like, dude, there's people love this franchise.
People are funny, man. I'm always laughing at people in the comment sections.
Yeah.
And it's been really nice. I tried not to read too much of it, but the response thus far has been so cool and funny. You know what I mean? Because so many of my castmates have had these careers in comedy or drama or whatever. There's so much. I guess it's jarring for people to see in a fun way, in a cool way, and it leads to these really funny comments. I've seen dozens of really funny comments, people talking about Bob's transition from comedy to action, or having seen Connie in Gladiator or whatever else, or Chris in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that kind of thing is also mined to full effect in the movie. You know what I mean? It's not that was kind of the draw with the first one, right? Was, what the hell? Doc is blasting dudes away with a shotgun. I've got to check this out, you know?
And then he's got the Gatling gun in the trailer. He's got that, that big machine gun.
Yeah.
But this is what a summer movie should be. Like, I saw F1, I want to say, like I said, a couple days ago. I mean, we're almost yeah, it's like the first movie of the summer that I liked. Like, the other ones were okay, but like, this is what summer should be. Nobody 2, F1, like movies that like take your head away from the real world.
Yeah,
it's blockbuster.
It's a little return to the blockbuster. If it's felt like they've been gone for the past little while, I think they've come back in a big way. And there's some great. Go see all movies. I mean, obviously, Nobody 2. But just go see movies, man. Movies are great. I've had such a good time this year seeing movies. I just saw 28 Years Later.
How'd you like that? That's on my list.
I really liked it. I thought it was kind of wacky and zany in all the right ways. And I watch Danny Boyle read the phone book.
Yeah.
It was great.
What's around the corner for you throughout your social media, Gage? Anything you wanted, anything we can get out there on your on behalf? On
my social media, I feel like I've done a bad job of that. I'm not good at posting, but I think I'm Monroe99 on most platforms. And in terms of next stuff, I've got a part on this TV show called Wayward that'll be out on Netflix, I think sometime later this year, that I'm really excited about. Mae Martin created it. It's fantasy and thriller and action, I think, to a certain degree as well. Yeah. And we just finished this movie called Lice, which I think is going to be really cool. Emile Hirsch is in it. Justin Long is in it. Kevin Connolly.
That's a great cast.
I think so, yeah. I was really excited to learn. The names kept sort of coming up. I joined the cast, and then these names kind of kept cropping up, and I thought, what a fantastic fit, but also just what a fantastic get.
Gage, what's the synopsis of that movie? Just quickly.
I'm terrible at these. It's basically, high school is taken over by killer lice, and
dude, I'm already in.
I think that's as maybe as best I can sell it. A high school is taken over by killer lice and chaos ensues.
If Justin Long is in it, there's 100% chance he's dying because he dies in every horror movie. Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, I'm not
nothing.
You don't have to, but like there's a virtual guarantee that poor Justin is not seeing the light of day at the end of this.
He goes. I won't spoil it, but he goes through hell. I'll say that much. He definitely goes through hell. The lice.
Poor man.
Lice give him a run for his money.
And who was the first name you said was before Justin Long? I totally forgot.
Emil Hirsch is also in it as well.
My God.
He plays our teacher, Mr. Shanker. Took me a second to remember Mr. Shanker, and both he and Justin have a rough go of it.
Yeah.
Without revealing too much there.
Low key, awesome cast. Like just the first four names. Like
I would say, yeah, not low key. I would say high key,
awesome.
Great cast.
Yeah.
I think they're great, and people will definitely want to see that movie whenever it comes out. I'm not entirely sure. We just finished that one, so keep an eyes out kind of situation.
Yeah, Gage, you freaking rock, and until next time, my guy.
Thank you so much, and congrats again on the family.
Yeah, next time we talk, dude, I'll have a whole house full. So,
yes, Mother Hubbard kind of situation. Yes.
All right, man. I wish you nothing but success and love in the movie. Thank you, man.